Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Rachel Hollis podcast about Dave Hollis and her divorce and her sleeping on the floor of her mansion and the sad, sad story that we have come to find very interesting around here in Kia's world. This is part 2 of the reaction video, so if you have not seen part 1, I highly recommend you go check it out. I think the button pops up here. Subtly putting my ring in the shot. I recently got engaged, so I'm very excited. But yes, it's up there. Click on that. Watch that first. I highly recommend you see or listen to the first half because this is the second half of the reaction video. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I will see you there. Goodbye.
I think that it was the most important part of this process. And I have walked with a lot of friends through breakups this year and divorce this year, and I have seen so many people immediately jump back into a relationship. And
that was you. What are you talking about? That was you. I can't believe she's going to say this right now as if like she's not that one. Like, oh, I've seen so many, like how much faster could someone have jumped into a relationship? Like they were already having an affair with them and then now they got with them. Like that's the only way that it could have been faster than what you did. And she acts like, oh, I wasn't looking for anything though. It's like you were on a dating app. Well, I was just looking for friends. It's like bullshit. Bullshit. You were not. You were looking for someone to date because you don't know how to be alone. You found someone immediately, locked them down, and now you're seriously dating them. That's the truth in my eyes. I mean, you can say all you want that you spent the time and you did the work and blah, 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 but bullshit. You didn't. I'm sorry. Like, I hate this. Like, you have to be PC. I get it, you know, to not hurt people's feelings, but it's like, it just gives you this license to lie to people. It's annoying.
And everybody gets to process and deal however they need to, but I just can't think of something that would have been worse. And I get the why. Like, if I started dating right away.
You did! Oh my God. This is like her in that one speech where she says, do you ever see a couple on Facebook and they just like post that they're so in love with each other? I love you, boo. No, I love you, boo.
Who has a friend, like not a close friend, but maybe someone you went to like middle school with or high school with, and you're friends with them on Facebook, and they're always talking about how in love they are. Anyone have a friend who's like, oh, my boo, no, my boo, and they're like vacationing, and they're swimming on that island where people swim with the pigs. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Anyone have a friend like that? And then they get divorced?
Continue.
If I started dating right away, if I started going out with my friends and like drinking and living it up and doing whatever, it would have been an amazing distraction. I would not.
But she is doing that. Like she talks about going out with her boyfriend and drinking too much vodka all the time. So she's saying because she didn't do that 6 months ago, that she only did that 4 months ago, that somehow made her better than everyone else. I don't know. It's a little weird. It's a little hypocritical. Hippo Rachel. No, okay, let's just leave that one.
I've had to think about how sad I was, how angry I was, how hard it was, how confusing it was to like go through a divorce and deal with attorneys and figure out financials. And like, it was so overwhelming to me. And I 1,000,000% could have distracted myself in a bunch of different ways. And I just sat in it. You know, if you read my last book, which is all about going through a hard thing, I talk about sitting in it. You gotta sit, you gotta allow yourself to feel how painful these things feel. What did I need to learn? What am I still learning from this process? And I went through every emotion there.
I agree with her advice. I just don't think she took her own advice. I think you do need to sit in things. You do need to process things. You do need to go to therapy and talk about things. I'm in therapy for over a year now. I'm just starting to feel like I'm getting somewhere. You know, it takes a long time to open up wounds and to heal yourself and to admit things about yourself. I just don't think that the advice is good. What she's saying that she's done it. It's like Dave saying he completed a triathlon. If you know, you know. You didn't finish, Dave. you got disqualified and you lied about it. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, I think, she didn't do what she says, you need to do. She's giving you advice that is good, but if you lie about it, it's fine. I don't know. Not she's lying. She's just not telling the truth. She's telling her truth, not the truth.
And I just made myself, like I told you, sat on that back patio. I mean, hundreds of hours have been logged on my back patio, just thinking or crying or praying or journaling or just trying to get myself to, raise above the pain that I was in that moment, because I have to suck it up because the kids are on their way, or I've got to go make dinner, I've got to do bedtime or whatever. And I spent a lot of time alone. I was talking to, if you all heard when I interviewed Jay Shetty here on the podcast, he's become a very sweet friend. I actually just got to hang out with him in LA earlier this week. And, he and I talked about this idea of when you're alone, there are two ways that people describe it. Some people call being alone lonely, and some people call it solitude. And one of those is empowering and intentional. And one of those, lonely, feels immediately sad or wrong. And I actually think there's something incredibly valuable about being alone with your thoughts. Not to say it's easy all the time, but I spent a lot of time by myself. And
it's like, we get it. You spent a lot of time alone in 7 months, but you had your kids half the week and you traveled and worked and had a team to talk to. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like another thing. It's like I slept on the floor. I was alone a lot. It's like, okay. Like those seem to be like choices that you made. What do you want as the audience? What do you want us to feel? Sorry? I think that's what you want us to feel sorry for you. And I just don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't feel sorry for you.
And let's see, 11 or 10 months before I started dating again. Just like alone. And
well, I don't think that timeline works out because, like I said, 7 months, she was on the dating app. I mean, technically, I guess you weren't dating on a dating app, but if you're on a dating app, isn't that dating? Isn't that kind of like starting the process of dating, or at least you're talking to people or you're getting to know people? Isn't that kind of starting the dating process? I don't know where she got 10 months from. That doesn't work out time-wise.
The first, like I remember my girlfriend who was going through divorce, she was like, how long until it doesn't feel like you want to die? Like how?
She should not be asking Rachel Hollis this advice. Like, how long does it take till you feel like you don't want to die? Oh, let me ask Rachel, who's been divorced for 5 seconds. She'll know the answer. It's like, ask someone who's been divorced for 25 years and see what they say. Like, why would she be the one you would ask this to? It doesn't make any sense.
How long until you don't wake up every day and remember and just want to crawl back in bed? And I was like, 6 months. Yeah, I would say 4 months of really feeling like you have no idea how you're going to survive. And then 2 months where it's still really bad, but you can manage a lot better. And then you start to feel better and you start to feel hopeful.
Is that true? Anyone who's been divorced before, is that true? 6 months and you feel better? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, my parents are divorced, kind of. I don't know. My parents are weird. They got kind of like similar to her parents, divorced and back together my whole life. And, I think it took a lot longer than 6 months for even each time for them to feel better. I think that the reason they got back together so many times is because they didn't feel better and that they just decided that they would be better off together. And why are we even doing this? Is that so? I've never been divorced. I've never been married. So I have no place to speak about any of this. But if you have been divorced, let me know. Was it 6 months and you felt better, or was it much longer?
And to be honest with you, I started dating in March, but like never.
March. Okay, so by her own logic, okay, so she considers moving out July, but even if it was May, okay, so it's June, July, August, September, October, November, December. January, February, March. Okay, it is 10 months. 10 months from May. So 10 months from when she told him she wanted a divorce, 7 months from when they announced it to the public. Okay, I'm sorry. She's correct. She's right about her own timeline of her own life.
Ever with the intention of it being anything serious. I think you guys maybe heard me talk about this, or maybe you saw it on Rach Talk on the YouTube channel. You know, I told you the story about like, I got on a dating app, but I got on a dating app because I wanted like friends to go out with, not because I wanted to make out with somebody. And
to me, it's half bullshit, half sad. It's bullshit because I think she's lying and she just wanted to date somebody and she got exactly what she was looking for, which is a long-term relationship from the dating app. But the other part is that it's sad because if you really wanted to go on a dating app for friends, like where are your real friends? Where are your friends that you hang out with on the regular basis? And, you know, especially during a pandemic, like why are you more interested in meeting new people that you don't know compared to spending time with people who you're already close to? And maybe that's a judgment thing, like I'm being too judgmental, maybe like not having that many friends is not a big deal, but she talks about all these friends, she talks about all these people that she spends time with and interacts with. So why would you need more friends to go out with, and why would you choose a dating app to do so? Even like Bumble BFF has women that you can meet, or you know, men that aren't there to date, but she decided to go on a celebrity dating app meant for dating. So I don't know. It's like either it's sad that that's the only place she thought that she could find a friend, or it's manipulative and she just is lying to herself or lying to the public that, yeah, I wasn't really trying to date. It just fell into my lap and it was all, you know, divine intervention, blah, blah, blah. It has nothing to do with me being insecure with being alone. I've overcome every obstacle. I just, you know, wanted to have a friend. It's like, okay.
And P.S., that was terrifying for me to figure out how to date again. And it just so happened, or I guess, again, I don't believe in coincidence here. It didn't just so happen, but the first person that I became friends with, I ended up falling in love with. And I think that's because God, in her infinite wisdom, was guiding this process and knew the kind of person that I needed to.
The church is not going to like that she refers to God as a she, as a her.
You know, kiss for the first time when I didn't know what I was doing and I was freaking out and like, I didn't know where to put my hands, or I just, you know, like it's crazy. And I'm so grateful for the beauty and the serendipity and how it all came to be. But there is no way that I would be healthy enough to be in this beautiful relationship if I hadn't spent all those months by myself processing things. So if you have to go through something hard like this, I hope you will allow yourself to sit in it for as long as you need. I think, you know, it is sort of like the hot topic. I get a bajillion DMs about this and lots of comments and questions on YouTube, and everybody wants information about dating and what that's like and the boyfriend and the whole thing. And I'm making a really conscious decision. I'm fine to talk about it because I think, number one, I think it's hilarious because you would not even believe how freaking terrible I am, for all that I'm confident and I think I am cool, and I know.
She always has to add this in, like, this is her whole brand in a nutshell. Even though I'm the most successful woman you've ever met, or haven't met, but think you've met through the computer and reading my books, I have relatable problems just like you, and I'm totally quirky, and I will make you feel like you know me, but then at the last second, I will make you feel like you are not rich enough to be near me, and I have no intention of ever being near you in my life. That's this whole thing in a nutshell. Like, even though I'm so amazing in every way and that you definitely look up to me as a leader, I struggle to stop smiling when I'm dating and being funny, cute. It's like, okay.
What I'm doing, I was such a freak I was so nervous. I was so anxious for months. I like couldn't speak. Same person, same man, same situation. Like it's a shock. It is beyond belief that this human like kept being like, yeah, let's go on another date. Because I would literally just like stare into his eyes and like feel like I was dying. Like, why are you so beautiful?
It's very odd, and it almost makes me feel like the guy she's dating has weird intentions. Like he's like, yeah, this girl keeps staring at me in the eyes, but I don't really care because I'm just after a relationship at any cost or something like that, where it's like, shouldn't it be a mutual thing where you're getting along and hitting it off? Not like, oh, I was panicking the whole time, but he kept giving me second chances, so here we are. It's like, shouldn't you be more comfortable? Like, shouldn't it be a relaxing experience? I mean, that's what I found in my own relationship. I went on dates and it was nerve-wracking and all those things. But when I met my fiance, it was not that way. It was comfortable. It felt nice. It wasn't like I was stressing that he was going to think my hair was bad or whatever. It was just like, oh, this guy's legit. He's, a nice person. He cares about me as a person, not like all the extra stuff. And that's when I knew like he was the one, not like, oh, I ruined it for the first 3 months just by staring at his eyes. But he gave me, he pitied me. It's like, it's a weird way to explain a relationship.
And then it was ridiculous. It was just ridiculous. Just let's go with that. So it's a miracle that anybody wanted to keep talking to me, even though I was so clearly not good at dating. But I am being very conscious of this is something so precious. And my last relationship, I didn't know better. And so it was so present on social media, and it was something I talked about so much. And something as precious as your love, I want to be very careful with how and when that is out in the world. And it's so funny to me when we're out at a restaurant or like we're taking a walk or we're getting coffee or whatever, and I see, a listener of the podcast, or I see a reader, a fan or whatever, see us and realize like, oh, this is the guy. And it makes me really laugh, because I feel like people feel like they have some sort of like insider thing.
This is me speculating, but I think the no telling who he is more a him thing. Just because she's sharing these cryptic messages about him, like the photo of him, the like I'm in Hawaii thing, and not really saying who she's with type of thing. Just putting little things about him and talking about him on all the episodes about, my boyfriend's mom and my boyfriend this and my boyfriend that. And, she's not saying his name, but she's not shying away from talking about him or talking about his philosophy on life. So what are you really keeping secret? His name? To me, that more comes from him probably wanting to keep distance for some reason. Depending on his position or job or, what his status is. It doesn't seem like he wants to be part of this maybe yet. But who knows? That's just my own thoughts.
Of this person. And I know there's like blogs about it and like random internet things about who I'm dating, but
for the record, I have not seen any blogs about it. I would have known. I would know because I look it up. Not that specific thing, but I'm on the Reddit threads and there's no blog that I'm aware of about who she's dating.
It's just this sweet, precious thing. So I'm just I'm keeping it real close to my heart. So I'm talking about dating and what that looks like, but I'm not really like talking about who he is or any of that stuff. So I know there are questions, but that's the why, in case you're wondering. For mattress. Oh my gosh. If the mattress you have
creative, like the non
only at
I think it's ironic too that She's playing a mattress commercial in this podcast where she's talking about how she didn't have a mattress and she slept on the floor because there was no mattresses in her house. It's very, I guess, good. Not good, but like convenient timing. Like I slept on the floor because I would never sleep on a mattress that wasn't a Casper mattress. It's like, okay.
Sleep Number stores or at sleepnumber.com/rise.
To stay connected last year, we had to get creative. Learn more at dropbox.com/thingsworthsaving.
The last thing that I'll say about what I have learned in this year that I feel like is so powerful, and I think is sort of something we've all gone through, even if you weren't going through a breakup or moving into a new place, is I am really loving the reminder that you can redefine and reframe your life at any moment.
She does that a lot. She does redefine and reframe her life at every moment, but what she reframes and changes it to is not necessarily reality. It's what she wants to think and wants to give people the impression that it is. So keep that in mind. You don't reframe and change your life in reality. You just change it in the perception of the public.
2020, we were forced to redefine and reframe our lives, right? COVID meant that whatever we thought was true wasn't, and things we thought could never be taken away were. And I never thought I'd get used to wearing a mask. I never thought that I would be in lockdown. I never thought that I wouldn't get to see my friends for months and months. I never thought that we would live in fear. Like, there's a million things that happened that I never thought could happen. Our whole world got shifted on its axis. And what I'm reminded of is that in the world getting shifted on its axis, I made a decision that was the right decision for me. And I know that that is such a bold statement. It freaking shouldn't be. But I made a decision that was the right and healthy choice for myself.
I don't disagree. I think that's great. I think you should get divorced from whoever you want to get divorced from and marry whoever you want to marry. More power to you. The problem I have is just the deception to the public for months, years, selling people on this idea that you have secret knowledge because look at our relationship, look how great it is. And then reality is that you never had it, or you were struggling the whole time, and that what really was going on was not what you were presenting to the public. That's what I have the problem with. I've said that a million times. I don't know if it gets lost in translation or not, but I want to say it 1,000,001 times more, that's where I have the problem. And I don't have any problem with her getting divorced. Divorce to me is not taboo at all. Like, divorce anyone all the time, 20 times, I don't care. But then don't sell someone how to be successful at marriage.com/my life and then get divorced. That's where I get annoyed.
And my children. And it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of the choice that you make for yourself, whether or not you have kids. You are allowed to make change. You are allowed to ask for more. You are allowed to demand that someone keep their word. You are allowed to speak your truth. You are allowed to have the same rights that your partner does. I think a lot of times, this is nothing. I love men. I'm raising 3 of them. Like, this is nothing against men. I have so many, my closest, like, guy friends. Like, I love men. I'm not bashing men. But so often, women are scorned for wanting literally just what is equal to what their husband or their boyfriend gets from them on the regular. So you are allowed to ask for whatever you need. And if you don't get it, you are allowed to have an issue with that. And, maybe you do what I did. And it's years of conversations and trying and working and doing what you can. And maybe you find a way. Maybe you do fix the pieces that are broken. and it becomes something more beautiful and stronger and greater than it was before, that's amazing. So freaking amazing. But also, if it can't, because sometimes it's not meant to keep going. And I was thinking about this today, like, I can't remember if I told y'all. I think I told y'all that I got to meet Dave's girlfriend finally, and she's so...
Little intel. I didn't hear this anywhere else but here. But yeah, so she met Heidi at some point. That should have been interesting. Hi, girl. Hey, girl. Oh, love you. I love your Instagram. Oh my God, I love your Instagram. Oh, look at your outfit. Oh my God. Okay, bye-bye. You know that's exactly how it went, okay? Tell me that didn't go exactly like that.
Sweet, so kind, like exactly, what I knew she would be. And to see them together and they're so happy and they complement each other so well. And I think of me and my boyfriend and how I never could have I could not have written a script of the kind of man that I would want and need, because I literally didn't even know that this kind of human existed. I wouldn't even have known to ask for him. But now being with him and then Dave being with Heidi, I'm like, oh, yeah, clearly, if this is who you move on to, and we moved on to people that were...
I think that's such a backwards compliment too. It's like, oh, clearly, if this is who you move on to, we were never meant to be together. I mean, that's pretty, what do they call it? Fire? I don't know. I'm trying to sound cool. I don't know. That's pretty funny, I guess, is just the easiest word to say. Like, oh, now I know what type of person you are and who you actually get along with, and I totally understand why you and I did not make it. Subtle shade, I guess, is the word.
So different from each other, but so complementary of who we are. It's such an example of the fact that it had run its course, and that's okay. Not only is it okay, I think it's beautiful. People want to...
I don't know. I mean, I hate this thing. She always says, like, even her other one about the dead person, is like, it's so beautiful that people just die and everyone just moves on. It's so beautiful. It's like, it doesn't have to be beautiful. Nothing have to... You could be pissed that your husband went and married, or didn't marry yet, but your husband went on and dated, a woman who's got a lot of, issues and, kind of has a little bit of a flighty personality and, is shilling protein powders and is constantly posting your children on the internet. You can be mad about that. I don't think that it has to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be, and it's not. And the fact that, this is a narrative that keeps coming up and that everyone has to have this lesson in their life. It's like, no, you don't. It's making it harder for people to live honestly and authentically when that is the constant message.
Look at a divorce and see that it ended after 18 years and it's a failure. No, it's not a failure. I consider my marriage a massive success. A massive success.
Financially, yeah. Your marriage, while it was happening, gained you a ton of money. That is a success, totally. And you still have that money, I would imagine, or, giving Dave some of it, but you got a lot of it, so that's pretty good.
We have 4 beautiful children. We're still friends. We're still a family. We are making choices now that are better for us. And if they're better for us, that means they're going to be better for the kids. And so, okay, they're conservative.
I don't know if that statement is kind of like a statement she threw in there that I don't really agree with. And I don't think she would agree with, really, because her parents probably made decisions that were best for them, but did not work out best for their children. So I think just saying that is not really fair. Whatever's best for the parents, Dave flying to see Heidi and vice versa every other day, having the kids have to fly back and forth, and they have to be, they have to hang out with Heidi's kids, and they're forced to go on these trips, and it's just yeah, maybe that's fine for them, but maybe it's not. But that's what's best for Dave right now, so that automatically makes it best for the children. No, not at all. Not true.
people who don't believe in divorce and who, great, then you live that out in your life. But those people don't get to tell you or me or Dave or anybody else how they get to show up in the world or what's right for them or what's good for their family. And I just want to encourage you, man, if you're going to have to go through something like divorce, you're going to have to go through a breakup, I freaking hope that you can come out of the other side of it with a clearer idea of who you are. If you're going to have to walk through hell, I hope you come out the other side forged in the flames. Like, oh yeah, I went through it and I didn't go through it for nothing. I went through it so I can live an authentic life as myself. So I sit on the back patio now and I'm not sitting there to heal. I'm sitting there celebrating this beautiful life that I get to live. And it's still hard and it's still complicated and it's still messy. There's still 4 kids that are screaming and it's still navigating, ex-husbands and new girlfriends and boyfriends and Thanksgiving and we're all together and what is this like? There's still so much messiness in this, but it's good. And I am telling you guys, a year ago today, I slept. I'm taping this for you in my bedroom. And I remember sleeping on this floor, this wooden floor, and I had a pillow and 2 blankets. And I remember...
For no reason. Once again, there's no reason you had to sleep on the floor. You never have to sleep on the floor ever again, unless you want to.
Feeling so discouraged. Like, what the hell am I going to do? And I remember crying that night. And I also remember, even in the pain, I remember this knowing or this voice deep inside of me that just knew that this was right. I'm saying that in case there are those of you who are in something that is painful and you just need to listen for that still small voice that is speaking to you and guiding you through the time that you're in. That voice is there. And it was here with me a year ago and it's here with me now. And if you're in a really hard season, like I was a year ago today, I want you to know it gets better.
Yeah, okay. So in conclusion, I think that's about it. I don't think anything else happens really after that. So, Rachel once again has overcome the odds and has learned the hard lessons of life and has been able to see the positive at all times. And, within 1 year, she has moved mountains to, get a hot boyfriend, and all of her worries are in the past. And that's going to be the story no matter what time and what season and whatever she's going through. It's always going to be that same narrative that everything wrong that's happened, she's learned from and she's made, changes and she's better than ever. And that'll be forever. And you won't hear about it until it's been solved. And so, it just makes me laugh that, this is someone who's giving advice to people who have things going on that aren't going to be solved by moving into a mansion and buying furniture and getting on a celebrity dating app. It's just, go talk to a therapist, my God, please, about your own issues, because taking advice from people like this is just going to lead you down a road where it's not your life. And this general advice does not work for everybody. Just take a look once in a while at who the people are that are giving this advice and then say, do I fit their lifestyle? Do I fit what they're talking about? Because if they're giving advice that's coming from a place that they've gone through and done, it probably will not work for you unless you're celebrity self-help guru who, sold the idea of having a perfect marriage and then got divorced and then had to, go dark on social media because they insulted an entire, group of women online and was really disliked for that and now is trying to make a comeback. If that's not your exact situation, this advice probably will not work for you. So in conclusion, let me know all the questions I asked throughout the video. I would love to hear your advice and your opinions on all those things. And also let me know about the style, if it's okay. I know this video is probably super long. If it was too long, let me know if you'd like to see it chopped up. Or if you like the longer version, you know, sometimes I don't mind watching an hour video, but some people don't. So let me know. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for the feedback about the Choose Sadness merch. That I should make that. I really do want to make it. I don't want to offer anything that's not like high quality or actually a good product that I would actually want myself. So until I figure out a perfect method, a method for YouTube uploading and growing this community, I think I'm going to hold off on the merch for now. But keep in mind, Choose Sadness. I would love to make that merch because it is so perfect. I found a shirt at Old Navy the other day, and it was the Choose Happy, and it was like Choose Happy a million times, and I took a picture with like my middle finger because it's like, I'm sick of it, this Choose Happy bullshit. Choose nothing. Just live your life for God's sakes, and enjoy as much as you can, and feel the pain of life when it happens, and stop listening to these quack people on and also whack people on social media, because they don't know anything about anything. And that's basically the point of this channel, is that you got more knowledge inside of you than you know, and listening to these people is going to make it harder to feel that within yourself. So, goodbye. I'm going to end the stream now. And also let me know too, one last thing. Let me know if you would like to watch a live stream. And where would you like to watch it? Twitch or YouTube? Okay, bye. Oh, also, if you didn't know, Taro's my cat, and she was the one that was jumping in the screen half the time. Oh, you heard your name? Okay, goodbye, everybody. See ya.